Lizards and snakes are deadly reptiles, and they are also great hunters. Have you ever seen a snake swallow a deer? What about two lizards sumo wrestling? If you want to discover the world of lizards, snakes, and reptiles and how they handle things, keep watching as we count down 15 hunting moments by the deadliest reptiles, lizards, and snakes. Number 15. Lizard versus snake. We're used to seeing snakes swallow their prey whole, but in this video, it's the other way around when a lizard attacks a rattlesnake, kills it, and swallows it whole. Talk about getting a piece of your own medicine. Meet Australia's biggest and hardest lizard, weighing roughly 33 pounds and measuring more than 9 feet in length. The Parenti is a lizard king, a fearsome apex predator, with which few creatures dare to collide. This huge male is a well-known desert stalker, and he's on the prowl for prey. He's foraging in the grass with his finely tuned senses. His eyes are sun-shaded and sensitive to even the tiniest motion. He tastes the slight chemical trace of prey by licking the air with his tongue. Nothing escapes him, and he makes do with little rodents most of the time. Because protective meals are few and far between out there in Australia's interior, he's not beyond scavenging, but being a huge active hunter, he occasionally needs a more substantial meal. Wombats and even lone dingoes are aggressively hunted by a Parenti of his size. The Parenti isn't like most reptiles who wouldn't dream of taking on a red kangaroo. He has abilities that other lizards lack. Parentis are capable of running and breathing at the same time. To keep him oxygenated, he possesses a big breathing tube and strong neck muscles that operate as bellows. Even yet, the kangaroo is a tough opponent. His greatest chance is to attack unexpectedly. He concentrates on the group's weakest and most vulnerable members. More than drool seeps from the predator's rotting mouth. The bite of the Parenti has lately been determined to be venomous. The pursuit has begun. It's a race of speed and agility. The kangaroo would be much faster in an open plain. However, it struggles to reach full speed while crossing the low desert brush. In the end, the Parenti gets outclassed by this legendary Australian spinter. But there's no shame in that. The Parenti is now focused on an entirely different situation. He encountered a freshly fed mulga snake. It's one of the world's most venomous snakes, posing a serious hazard to most reptiles. The Parenti, on the other hand, is adamant. The snake isn't a threat to him because he's too huge, and the Parentis have developed a resistance to snake venom because of eons of coevolution. So, the mulga snake is in peril, and the Parenti does not hesitate to intervene. This is a substantial meal that will give this unscrupulous predator the energy to pursue his next prey. This water monitor finds a snake in the backyard and doesn't have any trouble crushing the snake with his powerful jaws. The Fanatic brings you all the best content you want to see when it comes to the animal kingdom. If you want to see the latest confrontations between animals and the best animal videos, please subscribe now. We post new videos every day for your entertainment. Number 14. Lizard versus deer. An animal will develop ill after being bitten by a Komodo dragon due to a bacterial infection. In this video, a deer is bitten and tries to save itself by escaping into the river. The Komodo dragon, on the other hand, has a strong sense of smell that can travel up to 7 kilometers, and it ultimately catches up to the weakened deer. This deer was bitten by a Komodo dragon, and the symptoms of the bite can be seen. The Komodo watches while the deer limps and appears disoriented until it falls to the ground, at which point the Komodo returns to perform the deer's final rites. When a Komodo dragon arrived at the beach just when this unlucky deer was trying to enjoy a day at the beach, the dragon decided to borrow the deer as a lunch substitute. To kill and retrieve the deer, the dragon dove into the water. When you're the Komodo dragon, who needs food vendors on the beach? Number 13. Lizard versus rabbits. A Goanna marshal finds out that rabbits are living on his golf course after numerous complaints by the club members, so he follows and invades a rabbit hole on the golf course and informs the rabbit he's being evicted. When the rabbit refuses, the Goanna kills and gulps it up. This poor little bunny rabbit is grabbed by a Goanna lizard, and the lizard doesn't waste any time swallowing the furry animal. This lizard grabs a rather large rabbit and carries it by the throat. The rabbit is not yet dead, but it's just a matter of time before he is standing at the pearly gates. Number 12. Lizard versus dog. A monitor lizard is attacked by 2 additional canines. Although this lizard is significantly larger and more vibrant, the dogs seem unfazed. While the second dog watches, one of the dogs continues to strike the lizard's tail. The struggle is more difficult for the dogs, but there's only one dog fighting the lizard because the other one appears to be on vacation. To avoid predators, many lizards can separate their tails, a practice known as autonomy. This can be seen in this video. A fight broke out between this neighborhood dog and a passing reptile. As the dog bites and tosses the lizard, it appears the dog has the upper hand. This lizard will get away by appearing to be dead. Therefore, it's a tie. Before biting into a reptile, this pit bull circles around it. The lizard is hardy and can fend off the initial attack. The pit bull launches a second attack and bites the lizard, but it is short-lived. The dog chews the lizard's throat and eventually kills it. Number 11. Lizard attack buffalo. This water buffalo retreats into a cooling mud bath, and the dragon dreams of its meal. The prey outweighs the hunter by over 1,500 pounds. Is the dragon taking on too big a prey? Even a tiger would think about it twice before attacking this massive beast. But this buffalo would feed the dragon for an entire month. The buffalo doesn't see the dragon as a threat, and yet the dragon thinks he has a chance. The dragon strikes and the buffalo shakes it free. The dragon doesn't quit and the buffalo is annoyed and leaves. But this is where it gets interesting. The dragon's invisible weapon takes effect, and that's the venom it infected the buffalo with. It will slowly take effect, and the dragon knows exactly where to find the paralyzed buffalo to eat it. A few komodos surround a buffalo calf on the ground, but the buffalo mom doesn't run. Perhaps she's not aware of the dragon's venom. A second buffalo arrives to help. The two buffaloes try to fend off the dragons, but the dragons don't budge. The dragons eventually pull the calves towards them and begin to feast on it, as the buffalo helplessly watch. This dragon is taking bites out of this animal, but for some reason it takes breaks in between, and the animal just sits there waiting for the dragon to finish it off. Number 10. Lizard versus lizard. No, these two monitor lizards are not hugging and showing their affection for each other. They are wrestling and trying to dominate one another. The scuffle lasts a while, and we just don't have time to wait for these guys to finish. This bearded dragon swallows his lunch, a smaller lizard. I guess people like to watch their pets eat. I'm not one of those, but hey, to each his own. It looks like this lizard entered the wrong door and is being served with a one-way ticket to oblivion when this larger lizard swallows it whole. This man pulls the lizard out of the mouth of the hunter, and you can see it's dead. This long-nosed leopard lizard attacks a tiger whiptail. In the middle of the fight, an orange-headed spiny lizard shows up. Number 9. Lizard hunting. This monitor lizard finds a frog looking for flies. And instead, it's the frog that's treated like a fly as the lizard mangles it badly before swallowing it. It's the first time I see a lizard eat a fish on a couch. Who watches TV on this couch? And I don't care if it's covered with blankets, it's disgusting. This poor little white mouse is running for her life in this aquarium after it's thrown to this lizard for lunch. The mouse runs all over the place to avoid the worst, but sooner or later, the lizard is going to grab it, and I think it's going to be sooner. There it goes. The lizard flanks the mouse, and boom, it's a hole-in-one. This is a cute little chick, oblivious to the fact it has 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 second left on this planet. Number 8. Snake versus lizard. This lizard seems to have found bliss in the snake's mouth in our thumbnail. I can assure you that this reptile will have no more problems. A deadly cobra emerges from its lair, enticed by the scent of crocodile eggs hatching. When the cobra arrives near the nest, it realizes another predator has already arrived. A monitor lizard defends its territory and refuses to surrender the cobra any ground without a struggle. Even though the snake is dangerous, he tells it it's finders keepers. They both assess each other and then attempt to intimidate the other by growing larger. The monitor lizard flees as the cobra prepares to attack, but not before firing a farewell shot at the snake with its tail. The cobra has the entire egg feast to himself, except for the fact that they are all empty shells. This time, the monitor lizard gets the last laugh. Even before the battle started, it was already over. A king brown snake attacks a blue tongue lizard in this video. As the lizard tries to flee, the snake grabs him by the neck. The snake asks, "Hey buddy, where do you think you're going?" The lizard tells the snake, "I'll be back." "Oh no, you're not." The snake responds as he reclaims the lizard. Is this couple dating? When is this snake going to eat this lizard? Here's a lizard in a precarious situation. It's still breathing, attempting to fend off the snake's attack, but it's proving difficult. Not only is the snake smothering the lizard, but it is also burying its fangs into its body. When the snake believes the lizard is dead, it detaches its fangs and goes toward the lizard's head, swallowing it whole. However, because the lizard is still alive and can be seen breathing, the snake continues to swallow it alive. When the lizard begins to squirm, the snake must revert to attack mode, and the lizard dies after 7 minutes, allowing the snake to feed. A snake sits atop a tree, contentedly swallowing a little lizard. When I initially saw this, I mistook it for a new light fixture from Home Depot, but upon closer inspection, I realized it was a snake devouring a lizard. All of this is taking place in this guy's kitchen. This guy deserves his own cooking show on television. Number 7. Snake attack frog. This red-sided water snake is on the lookout for a spotted pond frog, and it comes upon one. The snake approaches the frog, but it leaps into the air without hesitation. But the search isn't finished yet, and the snake attempts another strike, but misses. This frog moves quickly. The snake tries a different approach, but the frog is submerged. I'm thinking it's not the best location to hide, especially when a water snake is trying to devour you. But then again, what do I know? After a long chase, the snake eventually captured the small frog and eats it for breakfast. This snake just snatched a leopard frog and started eating it. The frog is still trying to get out of the snake's mouth, but it doesn't appear to be working, because the snake is consuming more and more of the frog's body as time passes. The frog is swallowed whole and alive with no opportunity to object. A bullfrog is grabbed by a water snake, yet the frog is tenacious and battles back, attempting to release itself. The snake has all the trouble in the world trying to kill the frog, but it eventually swallows it whole. This snake snatches a frog, and the frog appears to be unconcerned. The toad dies slowly as it struggles to get away from the snake's hold, but nothing works. Number 6. Snake versus cow. This snake wreaks havoc when it tries to suffocate a cow. This cow, on the other hand, refuses to accept its predicament and quickly frees itself and leaves. This snake is so ravenous, it attacks a cow. Yes, that's right, a cow. Considering how the snake draws the cow out of its coral and clings to its leg. Is this really happening? Why the person decides to stop filming for reasons I don't understand. Alive, a young calf is devoured by this huge anaconda. It all starts with the head, as you can see in the video. Although I believe snakes can open their mouths wide, a cow is massive. It will take months for the snake to digest such a large animal. But when the tips of the cow's legs enter the snake's body, you know it's over. Number 5. Snake versus rat. This rat has no idea he's in severe danger and continues to move around a snake, even stepping on it while the snake waits for the ideal moment to strike. It isn't going to take long. The snake waits for the right moment to strike, then strikes. The rat is promptly devoured after the venom acts. A snake is fed 6 pinkies, which are newborn mice in this video. 1 pinky at a time, the snake takes and consumes it completely. Then it returns for more. The surviving pinky sleeps soundly, oblivious to what awaits them. Number 4. Snake versus goat. This snake drags a goat out of the forest and swallows it whole. The goat has already died, most likely because of the snake. Look at the length of the snake as it begins swallowing the goat whole. This goat is being consumed by a massive python. The goat was swallowed by the 10-foot-long snake in 4 hours. That's a long time to stay at the dinner table, but the snakes are known for taking their time when they eat. Snakes are the farthest thing from its goat's mind, but if it isn't cautious, it will be the last thing it sees before entering goat heaven. This snake is crawling slowly approaching this goat, waiting to ambush the goat. As the snake gets closer to the goat, you can see how big it is. I'm not sure if the goat has noticed, but it's still standing where it was before. The snake has moved in and is currently smothering the goat. The goat tries valiantly to flee, but the snake's might is tremendous. As the snake crushes the goat, it's only a matter of time before it suffocates. Thankfully, this woman is experienced with large snakes, and with the help of a little child, can untangle and remove the snake from the goat, rescuing the goat. This time, a snake sneaks up on a baby goat. The snake is wrapped over the newborn goat, and they nearly appear to be cuddling up and watching an episode of Tarzan. The goat is bemoaning itself, and the snake for some reason does not appear to be attempting to harm the goat. A man rushes in to save the newborn goat by removing the snake. It's incredible how people in this region of the world pick up enormous snakes as if they were hamsters. Number 3. Snake versus bird. Because of its arachnid-like caudal shape, This snake is known as the Iranian spider-tailed viper. The snake, which has only been seen in western Iran, defends itself and hunts with its tail. The construction is designed to look like a moving spider, with the tip of the tail undulating to draw in potential prey. This little bird is performing some spring cleaning, but the lease has expired and a snake has moved in, and it is doing its own spring cleaning by removing and eating the bird. Another bird was struck at the speed of light and didn't see it coming, so the snake swallows it. This Gaboon viper eats everything from mice and birds to young antelope and monkeys. It doesn't matter if you make a tiny mistake. Once she sets her sights on an object, there's no getting away from her. Her strike isn't the fastest in the snake world, but at over 20 feet per second, it gets the job done. The strike stuns the bird, and the complicated venom combination floods its body quickly. As she waits for her victim to die, the snake adjusts her fangs. At times, they can be extremely inconvenient. In less than 10 minutes, it's all over. In pursuit of food, this enormous anaconda enters a chicken coop. The hens grow afraid as the snake approaches, and one of them is killed. For a snake this enormous, it's easy to kill a chicken. Number 2. Python versus deer. When a gang of hunters comes across a python eating a blesbok, they are treated to an extraordinary sight. They arrived just as the snake was ready to swallow the blesbok's head, and the python devoured the entire blesbok in under 5 hours. It was still there the next day, undisturbed with a big figure in its tummy. The footage was sped up 8 times to illustrate the entire process of how the python swallowed the blesbok, as well as the snake's strength and power as it squeezed the blesbok's entrails apart so it could fit within its mouth. This footage is exceedingly rare, yet these hunters were fortunate enough to catch a peek of it. Patience is a virtue in the world of predators. A snake slows down its physiological functions to preserve energy while waiting for a meal to get within striking distance. There's only a pilot light left, and it could take weeks before things change. In comparison to the snake, all the other mammals appear to be using a lot of energy. When a snake must move quickly, it may do so at breakneck speeds. The python, like many predators, hunts in the dark. It has sensors on its nose that let it to determine whether prey is nearby. The python holds victims with its jaws and then uses bondage as a second weapon in a 2-pronged attack. The python tightens its grip on the springbok with each extension. As the python tightens its hold, each breath becomes shallower until death by strangulation occurs. Right now, the jaws are putting on a show. Rather than eating or dismembering its food, pythons consume it whole, starting with the head. This python has one of the world's largest stomachs, and it can go a year without eating. Number 1. Snake versus alligator. Burmese pythons are a South Asian invasive species that has made its home in the Florida Everglades. As top predators, these huge constrictors compete with American alligators. These two apex predators are vying for the same resources for the first time in history. Large alligators have a huge edge over pythons due to their formidable jaws. With the force of about 2,000 pounds per square inch, the alligator clutches the python. The python will almost certainly not be able to release itself. After a long and arduous conflict, an unexpected change of events occurs. The alligator gives up. The Burmese python has been known to scare the alligator into fleeing on rare instances, and this is one of them. After a dramatic 5-hour struggle at a Lake Moondara in Queensland, Australia, where the encounter was caught on camera, a snake fought, wrestled, and eventually ate a crocodile whole. The crocodile was choked to death by the 10-foot python before being dragged to shore and devoured whole in front of a shocked audience. This python begins to suffocate this small alligator by wrapping itself around it. The alligator furiously tries to break free, but the python has already swallowed its head. Unless it's Houdini, I don't think this alligator is getting out of this. Lizards and snakes are scary, but I must say, I was impressed by the Perenzi the most. Which one impressed you the most? Why don't you let us know in the comments below. Well, that's it for our countdown of 15 hunting moments by the deadliest reptiles, lizards, and snakes. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and let us know in the comments what you think. Check out our other videos and subscribe to be part of the fun. Click on the notification icon so you can see our new videos as soon as they're uploaded. That's it for now.